How many dream trips do you have that have lingered in the shadows of your mind for years? Most likely pushed onto that list of things you won't get to do until retirement. Our list grows every year, but this year we were determined to cross one off and immerse ourselves in the rugged beauty of Newfoundland for the next 32 days. We invite you to join us as we break free from the predictable rhythm, venturing into the unknown, discovering that life's most profound moments reach farther than the typical 2-day weekend escape.
So we're out here on our great East Coast adventure, day one, and we've made some big changes already. We passed our destination a couple hours ago. We were both feeling really good. We've been up a very long time today, but we were making such good progress on the road. We just wanted to keep going. So we were supposed to stop at a campground a little while ago. We are currently in...
We're along a river.
I really don't know. So we're getting pretty hungry. We thought we'd stop for dinner and reassess. We've been planning this trip for a very long time. It's a trip that we didn't even think was possible, that a lot of other people didn't think was possible. But we're out here, we're doing it. But to be making changes right on day one, we hope it's the right decision.
All right, for dinner tonight, we've got a delicious bag salad and we pre-cooked some chicken breast to go with it. We wanted something really easy on the road that we didn't have to think too hard about. So we're going to mix up the salad in the bag and dig in.
Oh, this looks great. Pour it all in the bag and we'll shake her up. That's good. I was hungry.
That just always so delicious.
I was getting hungry.
I know that we could pick that up. I wanted to make them pick that up.
Yeah, I know.
All right, we are taking a cue from some van lifers, aiming them back, van wives. We've used the app iOverlander to find a safe place to sleep tonight, and it had covered picnic tables, super nice spot along the river, so we really lucked out today.
So in other words, we're going to be sleeping in the car tonight, but it's going to help us out significantly tomorrow. So the goal for this first leg of our journey here is to get from Ontario all the way to Newfoundland. So to do that, we were originally going to spend 2 nights on the road before we get to the ferry that would take us to Newfoundland. So instead of sleeping in our tent tonight because it's pouring rain outside, we decided to skip the campground, put some more distance under us, and get a little farther down the road so tomorrow doesn't have to be as long. We put in about 14 to 15 hours of driving today. Don't tell my mother. Tomorrow that will cut down on our distance so we don't have to drive as far, and hopefully we get to enjoy the campground that we are going to end up at tomorrow afternoon. So for now, we're going to try sleeping in the car for the first time.
We'll see how it goes. It seems pretty comfortable so far.
So we're all tucked in. We've got some blankets, some pillows. It's quite late. We're going to get a few hours sleep, get up nice and early.
Back on that road.
And get on the road. Catch you guys in the morning.
Good night.
Thought we'd stretch our legs a little bit this morning before getting back on the road for today's leg of the journey. We have just over a 6-hour drive to get to Whycocomah Provincial Park in Nova Scotia, currently in New Brunswick. So a bit of a drive ahead of us, and it's calling for lots more rain. And not far from where we parked and slept last night is the world's longest covered bridge.
It's primarily made of wood, which is amazing because it was built in 1921 and it's still standing and still looking solid today.
Cars still drive across it. Actually, well, except for right now, we are standing in the middle of the bridge, but the bridge is currently closed because last night there was this big event on it. They had comedians, live music, tables and chairs and everything. We walked around it a little bit last night before heading into bed. We absolutely love these little community events. That's exactly what we were hoping to see and be a part of on this journey across Canada to the East Coast. Looking forward to many more of these types of events. The only way to do that is to get back on the road. So we're gonna head back to the car.
And we're going to get on that road.
All right.
Oh, fancy.
I got the studio lighting on.
Wow.
Day 2, survived car life, not to be confused with van life. We slept pretty good last night, actually.
Yeah, I'm surprised how solid we slept.
We had rain off and on all last night, so it was quite peaceful. It was very calming. That definitely helped. We got a solid 7 hours of sleep. Considering that we slept sitting up, it wasn't so bad.
Not too bad.
Definitely looking forward to lying down and sleeping tonight in our tent, although they are calling for a lot more rain today.
Have a good day, guys.
You too. See ya.
Bye-bye.
That's easy. $4 to cross into Nova Scotia. Back on the road.
Greetings from Nova Scotia.
We made it to the ocean. We are a long way from home. Oh my God.
2,021 kilometers away from home.
That's how far we've driven in 2 days so far. Kind of mind-boggling. Still have another 45 minutes to go to get to the campground tonight. It's currently not raining, but it's been raining the majority of our trip so far, majority of the drive today. But we have a small window till about 5 p.m. It's currently just after 1. So we're hoping to get there, get our tent set up before it starts raining again. And tomorrow we hop on the ferry to Newfoundland. As soon as we arrived at Whycocomah Provincial Park, the winds really started to kick up, so we hustled to get everything pegged in for the night. However, we struggled to get the pegs in the actual ground as it was so compacted, and this would become a theme for a lot of the campgrounds that we stayed at during this trip. Our timing couldn't have been better here, as the rain started while we were tightening up the last guy line on our tent. In order to stay dry, we opted to make dinner inside of our tent tonight, which would also become a theme for our 32-day road trip. After dinner, and since we were already in bed, we decided to call it an early night tonight. Alright, we got a bit of situation. It's just before midnight and it is absolutely pouring rain outside. We knew it was supposed to rain. We just checked the weather and it's now calling for up to 60 millimeters of rain. It's just going to keep pounding us until 4 a.m. It is splashing up into the tent. It's splashing up underneath the rain fly and it's dripping down from the top. We tested this a couple weeks ago.
During an insane rainstorm at home.
Just set up the tent in the backyard, but we weren't expecting this. We're going to have to figure out something to do. The only option right now is Jess is going to take one for the team and she's going to strip down and just fling our secondary rain fly over the tarp. We have an older tent. It has 2 rain flies. We'll explain later. But
We're just going to go get her done.
we've got rain coming in, so we got to go.
Yep.
Last night was a bit of a wild ride. We have now got the secondary rain fly off. Ideally, we would try and dry our stuff out as much as possible, but we have a time crunch today. We have to get an hour down the road, an hour and a bit down the road to the ferry. You have to be there at least 2 hours in advance. That's what they recommend to get all the cars sorted and weighed and everything to get onto the ferry to get to Newfoundland. So unfortunately today we're packing up everything wet. It's going to sit in the car wet for the next 12 hours at least until we get to the next campground. And unfortunately, it's calling for more rain there. So packing her down, we're rushing to the next spot, hop on that ferry, and at least we'll have some time to relax there and kind of hopefully dry out on the ferry. So you can see how high the rain was splashing. So it was splashing up that high. So I think because we're on a gravel surface here at this campsite, that's what was causing it or allowing it to splash. So splashing up and then in
through the mesh part and getting all of our stuff wet. So even with the rain fly on, the first rain fly, it stops about here and it was still splashing up and under. So when we put the secondary rain fly on, it comes right to the ground and doesn't allow it to splash. But our heads, which were right in here, were getting a little bit wet, misted last night. So that's what prompted Jess to kind of save the day. Anyways, luckily it's not raining now, so it's allowing us to pack it all down. Jess just kind of sweeping off the mud.
There's one tool I'd recommend for your car camping trip. It's a little sweeper. Use it endlessly. So good.
So average rainfall for Newfoundland is about 14 days of the month. So that's pretty much rain every other day for us. So we're prepared for some rain.
We made it just in time for the ferry. Just waiting in line now to board, drive onto the ferry. Pretty pumped. Just big lineup of cars here. Everyone's all waiting in their designated line. It went super smooth. Got our boarding passes.
And what's cool with all the cars that are lined up right now is seeing all the different license plates. We've got as far as Nevada and British Columbia, which is pretty stellar. We are really top row.
Yeah.
Wow. We are on the ferry. We've gotten top deck, so we're exposed to the elements during our journey, and we're just going to get out and find a comfy spot to sit for the next 7 hours.
So you're on deck 5 right now from when we unload in Port of Vast later on this evening.
Good to remember.
So
yes.
when you, if you want to take the stairs, there's stairs and elevators back that way, or you can take the stairs this way. Deck
Okay.
7 is going to be our main deck. If you have any cabins or reserved seating, you can go on up to 8 for cabins and 9 for reserve. 7 is going to be our main deck, okay?
Perfect.
7? Okay.
All right, perfect. Just remember, guys, you're on deck 5, okay?
Bye.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Ooh, this looks nice. What do we got?
Parmesan, cheddar cheese, tortilla tips, tortilla tips. Just the tips of the tortillas. They're really small. Tortilla strips. So we've got some cheddar cheese and tortilla chips. Strips. Ah!